In the hot seat, take one. So I'm Brian Martin. I am a financial advisor for my own partner practice called Medium Financial, and it's a partner practice of St James's Place. I am what we call a holistic financial advisor, so I look at kind of all things financial advice. So my aim is to really sit with clients, understand the goals and some objectives that they're trying to reach, and then part of my role is to kind of help them achieve those goals by looking at their current situation and or short, medium-term goals along the way to help them combine everything and make sure that their plans are achievable. From an advice point of view, it's wrong to say probably not a lot, because I think everybody, because we're regulated, I think everybody's advice is pretty good. I think my view would always be have advice rather than not get advice. What do we do differently? What do I do differently? I guess it's probably because I'm not from a financial advice background. I probably bring a slightly different element to it. I've only been in it for a few years, so it's not something that's ingrained in me, and I take stuff from outside of the industry, bring it in, make it a little bit more understandable, perhaps a little bit more bite-sized as opposed to what can be quite a confusing or a complex industry. Try and make it as easy as possible. You don't do a lot. We're in the gym all the time, not the case. What do people assume? That I play golf a lot, I go to the gym a lot. But it's about working with clients on a long-term basis. So I do those things. But a lot of clients I have and or know are involved in those kind of areas or are from the gym and or play golf with. So you do tend to be around those environments quite a bit, but it's just, I guess, being involved around people, wherever there's people is the best place from a business point of view to be. So whether you're just having a quiet conversation with a friend or if it's a conversation with someone in the gym or, as I say, playing golf, it's amazing where a lot of your clients come from. I think anything when you start talking about pensions to especially kind of an early 30-year-old probably does sound extremely boring. But it's probably the sensible thing to do. So I guess, yeah, it's talking about long-term investments where somebody's going to be putting some money into something and not realising it for 20, 30, 40 years. It can be a little bit kind of dull.
Yeah.
But when you try and understand the importance and or what the benefits of that are, like for example tax advantages of paying into a pension and those kind of things, then that can potentially prick somebody's ears up. Well, I don't you say that, because things like AI at the moment, those kind of things. So I think it's things that you've probably done a certain way for a certain amount of time, and then all of a sudden something comes along and you kind of like, can't work for me, but then you try it and it does work. So I think it's being open to new ideas, new ways of working, new ways of approaching stuff, and again, making it relevant. And anything can do to anything that can help you speed things up or get things better or whatever it is, it's always worth being open to it. So I'd say more down that line, be open to new stuff, be open to new ideas, and certainly open to new technology. I think if you embrace it, you're better off that way and trying to utilise it rather than avoiding it and it taking over what you're doing. So that would be my view. It's got to be people again. I think it's the old adage that people always buy from people. So I think what I've learned within the Shout networking especially is it does take a while to build up those relationships, but I think once you've built them up, they're kind of not unbreakable, but I think there's certainly value in the long-term relationships, and I think that's kind of where you start. If you trust somebody, if you can engage with somebody, then ultimately I think that's kind of where I would start. Again, it goes back to all the roles I've done over the years. Selling is a one-off transaction, so I guess relationships is more of a, it's an ongoing situation. It's not just a one-off. It is about, again, back to that goal-based financial advice. It's the same thing. You work together, you create a goal, and then you both work together to try and achieve it. So that would be my view, I would say, on that. God, self-employed. I'm employed for all these years. Whilst I miss colleagues I've worked with, it is generally, you don't necessarily miss, I don't say I don't miss the company because the brands and stuff I worked for before were great, but I think the company was built up around the people, so you miss the people that you worked with. However, having control of your own time and having that instilled, working for yourself, knowing that only you can make a difference, I think that's the bit that I wish I'd have done a long time ago, gone on my own, for sure. I think if you take my role, for example, I'd say, there are times you speak to people quite a lot, and I probably get this wrong myself as well, but you speak to people and then you do have to follow them up, because you might have had a quick conversation, then it's left for a few months or whatever. It's then how do you approach that next conversation? And I think if you go straight into juggler around, are you going to buy this or not? Or are you going to do something or not? I think can potentially be a problem. But I think if you approach them in a way as to, a bit more of a softy approach, not spoke to you a while, you're up for a catch up again, I've not spoke to you, make it a bit more of a softer meeting. I think that's often a better way than to literally go in, do you want this, yes or no? So I'd say more that side of it. I'm trying to reconnect as opposed to go for the jugular, if you know what I mean. No one tells me how straightforward it is to do it. I think it's just a myth that you're coming out of unemployed. Yes, okay, you haven't got the income coming in, but I think because you haven't got the income in, I think that drives you. But I think the transition from being employed to self-employed is actually not as difficult as it's made out. It's the leap before, it's actually doing it as opposed to thinking about doing it, the complexities of doing it. Forget about the accounting side of it and setting up a business. You just go off and do it, and that's it. I think the straightforwardness is something nobody warns you about. It is actually quite straightforward. Been in the gym, playing golf. No, that's not right. It is for me, the flexibility. I think, given my personal scenario, it was a reason why I wanted to do this. But I think the flexibility and that, in some respects, there's no one to turn to. No one can help you out. No one can dig you out of this situation. It's all down to you. And I think it makes you self-reflect a lot more than perhaps it would have done in an employed environment. Because if you're not picking clients up, if you're not doing something, you have to question yourself. No one's going to question you. Whereas if it was an employed environment, you're going to have a line manager, you're going to have someone to report to that's going to be answerable to, whereas you haven't got that. So it's a lot of self-reflection, I'd say. I won't say I don't agree with it. I think I get it because cash flow is a big thing and you do need cash to survive. But I often, and because of the background I've come from, I've been working with certain leaders I've dealt with in the past who were very much a speculate to accumulate type approach. So sometimes you've got to spend to get something back. So it might not be frivolous stuff, but I know one of the first things I did when I became financial advisor was buy like branded mugs and branded pens, but for some reason it meant something. It felt like there was something tangible, and albeit I probably didn't have the money to do it, it was nice to do things inside network groups and give something, and even do the wine boxes like I did at the Shout Connect meeting when I did the golf thing. They're quite expensive prizes, and arguably I might not get much back for that, but it's about that brand presence and about building your brand. And sometimes to speculate to accumulate, whereas people say keep your cash flow, don't spend, keep it back, whereas I was a bit more on the frivolous side that I probably should be, but there you go. The biggest learning I'd say I have had versus those who I've seen come into groups and maybe go out of the groups quite quickly is one-to-ones. I think you have to go out of your way. You have to contact the people that are in the group, and you've got to go and sit with them to have a coffee, it sounds wrong, but to take the time to understand their business as much as you want them to understand yours. So I think the one-to-ones are a huge part of what you do. You can't just expect to go to a network meeting, give you 60 seconds, and then people come flocking. It's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean? I guess it might do over time, but to build those relationships, you need the one-to-ones, and you need to sit down and you need to take the time to listen to their business as much as they listen to yours. I think would be my big advice. For me, it's about how personable somebody is. I think someone can come into a meeting and be quite, say what they've got to say and then go. So I think sometimes if they say something that resonates, but certainly kind of feels like they're a human, as opposed to just, coming up with a robot and off they go. They've got some sort of real value behind what they're doing, or they can add some personality to it, then I'd say that, really. A couple of things for me. One is, you need to meet clients and to meet people. That's obviously one of the reasons why you come. But what I have gained a lot from this is even speaking to clients, if they say, blah, 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 this has happened, I could do with this. It's surprising who's within that room that you can go, I know John from such a place, or I know Dan from it, or whatever it might be. So the fact you've got a network of people you can lean on to help clients of your own in areas that you're not expertise in, I think that's a real plus. I won't say I've used it loads, but certainly a handful of times I've been able to pick up the phone and ask a question as well if I'm unsure of that particular area, which then gives me a bit of gravitas that I can give some information back to my clients. So I'd say more that really, it's the network within it and what skills and businesses they're in that can actually help support my client in areas that I can't support them in. One, just go into network groups, full stop, because I've never done this before. So it's different working in a branding background like I was before, you know, working for a global brand. You've always got that behind you, so that helps you when you're thrust into the limelight into a networking group of 60 seconds and everything's about you. That changes your approach massively for me. So I guess was quite rusty at the start. I'm going to thank a particular lady, Laura, was the one who got me into network groups to start with, Laura Barrett, and she, you know, I guess give me a bit of insight and listening to her and how she did at the start, because I was just trying to put 60 seconds just waffling about stuff and you're like, what am I talking about here? But I think over time, just that experience of being able to quickly give a snapshot of what you do, who you are, what you're trying to achieve, and actually resonate with people was a big learning. So I think, yeah, I'll probably go with that. Yeah, I think most of it wash its face. I mean, it's surprising, like I say, I think you always look at it, and I'll be honest, when you come into it like anything at the start, when you've not got no income coming in, you then go, right, this is going to cost, whatever it's going to cost a month, am I going to see the return? Yes, there's a return investment. I think even one or two clients, you know, might kind of wash its face from that. But from a personal point of view, as I say, it is that being able to quickly come up with a 6-second spiel about yourself, because that happens in the gym, on the golf course, that I keep mentioning. And so that initial meeting of someone for the first time, you can just revert to type from that 60-second approach that you've done in your meeting and quickly go, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I do, and I look at, you know, so it does help you personally trying to explain yourself in a very short few sentences.
Right, so we're going to move on now. I've got some quick fire short questions. Are you ready?
Go on.
Small circle or big network?
That is difficult. I think now, because I'm going to go more small network now. I think previously, from a previous role, it would probably be a bigger network because you needed more people, there's more in the industry. But as I think in this one, it's very much moved to more of a smaller network and trying to build with those people.
Follow the plan or adapt as you go?
I think you have to adapt as you go. I remember doing the plan going into this role with St James's Place and putting my business plan together. And whilst a lot of things overarching of I'm on the right track, the way to get to it has been very different. So that's been the adaptation. So I think, yeah, adapt for sure.
Big projects or small daily wins?
You've got to go small daily wins, I think. When you're on your own, I think little wins keep me going.
Email or voice note?
Oh, massive voice note. A huge voice note. Annoyingly to people that I speak to, a bit more of a voice note, I'd say.
Coffee meeting or a phone call?
See, 2 coffees a day max for me, and I'm one before 12, so I struggle with coffee afterwards. So I'd probably say a meet, but maybe not coffee for me.
Talker or a listener?
Massive talker.
Work from home or being out and about?
Personally, I have to work from home. I think I am very easily distracted, as my school teachers would tell me. So if I've got to do something, I have to be at home to do it. If I am in an office with various people around, I can quite easily doss around and mess around and then get nothing done. However, the networking side of it is better to do with people, but I think with this instance, I have to go a bit at home.
Solo working or team collaboration?
I've had both. I'm a massive solo worker at the moment because it's just me, myself and I. It depends what it is. As I say, I think in my role, as I'm doing here, I think, you know, you're on your own, but there's always people you need to speak to or to call. You can't do everything on your own. You do need to bring other people in. So that's a tough one. But I think just because my role and what I am as a self-employed financial advisor on my own, I'm going to say it's more of a me, myself and I. But I know I can't survive without others dipping in expertise, support, etc. ongoing. But tough answer that one.
Early start or late finish?
definitely not an early starter, so I'll have to go late finisher.
Business casual or business formal?
No socks, so I'll let you do the math on that one.
Brainstorming or ticking off a to-do list?
To-do list.
Pen and paper or digital notes?
I am moving more to digital, but at the minute I'm still pen and paper, but I've got my eye on this remarkable pad that I keep seeing people use. I need to jump on it. And this is the bit before about technology. I do need to get onto that, but I'm not quite there yet.
One thing at a time or multitasking?
One thing at a time.
Office music or silence?
Music.
Early breakfast meeting or after work networking?
After work networking. I'm not an early person. Don't have breakfast. So, next.
Empty inbox or thousands of unread emails?
Thousands of unread emails.
That's all, Brian. Thank you so much
Okay.
for coming on. It was great chatting to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.